Hi everyone, my name's Kate Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Today, June 2nd of 2015 is the day that Share the Fun, which is the name of our brand new catalog, goes into effect. And it is so exciting. I finally get to show you some inside pages on video. So I'm actually going to turn it open to a card we're going to make. Now I have changed it a little bit, but not too much. The same concept is the same. One of the stamp sets that I was really attracted to when I started going through my catalog and flagging different things was this stamp set called Build a Birthday. You can see it right down here. And then I really thought this card was so cute. And so I'm going to do a version of this card. This card is set horizontally and I did my card vertically. So you can see my card right here. So we're going to learn how to do this, and here's the inside panel. So it's super cute. I just love it. And it's going to be a fun way to celebrate the debut of this brand new catalog. So I'm going to set this catalog aside and then we're going to get started making our cards. So here's another little glance at the card before we get going. And of course we'll need a couple of stamp sets. So this is Amazing Birthday, and it's a stamp set that has been around for a bit, about a year, but I've only recently started just kind of getting into it. I'm really starting to like it. And then the next stamp set that we're using is brand new. This is called Build a Birthday. And as you can see, it has your cake stand, the little pedestal here, and then you can either choose to just, freeform some washi tape, or you can actually use the stamps that sort of look like washi tape right inside. The different colors can be different layers on the cake. Then we have birthday wishes, a little pennant at the top, some flags, and a candle flame. So of course you can take this flame and put it on top of one of these little rectangular pieces and you would have an instant candle. So it has quite a bit of versatility, this stamp set. So the first thing that we'll need is some paper, and I have Hello Honey. I have it cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and then I've scored it at 4 1/4. So we're just going to go ahead, we're going to fold this towards the score line, and then I'm going to get my Big Shot machine out. And we are going to cut a hole right through the top of this card so that our front panel will have a hole in it. And that's where we're going to put our birthday image on the inside of this. So I will also be using the Circles collection. And if you were to number these, 1 all the way to this outside one, with 8 being the one that's missing here, so it'd be 1 through 10, you would use number 8 right here. And so I've already set this up, so all we have to do is actually run it through the Big Shot machine. Now you might notice that the paper hangs out a little bit. Well, maybe you can't notice because you can't see it. But the paper does hang off the platform. So I have my magnetic plate, I have my cutting plate, and then I've got my paper and my circle framelit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my top cutting plate just up to where the score line is of my card, because if I put it over here it might cause a crease in my paper as I'm running it through the Big Shot machine, and I don't want to do that. So we'll just put it right where the score line is, and that's kind of a natural spot for it to fall. And here we have our card. So set the framelit aside, we can set this circle aside for another day, and then this is the card. And it's ready for us to start working with it. All right, so now we can get started stamping. I have a piece of Whisper White. This is cut at 4 by 4.5, and I'm going to use my Stampin' Up Stampin' Mat because we're using a photopolymer stamp set. So we want to be sure that we have a little bit of cushion while we're stamping. So I'm just going to lay this right on here, and then I'm going to ink up the pedestal part of my cake, or of the image where the cake is sitting, the cake stand. So we're just going to set that right in, give it a nice press, and it stamps just beautifully with your Stampin' Mat. The next layer, or the first layer here of our cake, is going to be with a brand new ink color called Cucumber Crush. So I've inked that up, and now I can just go ahead and just set this right on top of our cake stand. And look at that. You can see right through so that you can get it on there just perfectly. Then we're going to add another new in color, and this one is called Watermelon Wonder. So we're going to just set this right in and give it a good little press, lift it up, and then of course we're going to add a yellow layer here. I'm doing that with one of the in colors that debuted last year. This is called Hello Honey. Just going to set that right in there. And then the final piece to our cake is a little topper. So we're going to ink that up in Pool Party and just set that right there. And now all of our stamping for the cake portion is complete. So let's bring the main card in here again. And we're going to set this right here because now we're going to stamp our greeting. So I have the sentiment from Build a Birthday, and I am going to stamp that right down here. Give it a nice press, and there we go. Okay, so now we're ready to roll. This is a very quick card to put together. I'm going to use a little bit of glue in each corner of my image panel, and then I'm just going to center that. I'm just going to put that on my mat, and then I can just center this right where I want it on my card. I'll give it a little bit of space here so that our pennant up here has room to breathe. Then we can flip it over and just make sure that it's good here in the back. And you can kind of go to the front again. And with the reason I'm using glue is it gives me just a little bit of room to wiggle this image around. So now I think I have it right where I want it. And double check one more time, and it looks real good. So now all we have to do is create our little banners up here. So I did go ahead and I pre-stamped some of these images on pieces of Whisper White scrap, and then I cut them out. And now all I'm doing is I'm going to take the hexagon punch and I'm going to make little, make these into little pennants. So that's one nice thing I use the hexagon punch for all the time. Then we're going to take a little bit of snail. So let me get these out of the way. And we're actually going to put some snail right on the back. And then we're going to bring our card back into the photo here. We're just going to set these pennants right up here. And set this one right here. And then what we can do is grab a scissors and we'll just trim this off from the back. And then because we want to make it look all, you know, like we stapled this on here, we're just going to grab our staple and then just staple that in. So it's kind of nice to actually use your tape and tape the pennants down before you use your stapler, because then it's not like wiggling all over when you're trying to staple it. Now for the inside, I don't really care for the way this panel looks here because I don't like that. It looks sort of unfinished to me. So I'm just going to finish that look out. I have some of the new envelope paper that Stampin' Up! Just introduced, and it's 4 by 5 1/4. It's a very lightweight paper, so it won't add a lot of weight to your cards. It's a text weight paper. And I selected the color called Watermelon Wonder. And I picked that wood grain background because I thought, well, you know, a birthday card, if you're ever going to use a watermelon wood grain, it would be on a birthday card, I think. So let's go ahead and put that in right here. Then we're going to get our rectangular stamp and put a candle down here. So let me grab a piece of scrap paper. I don't like to stamp it so that it's going off onto the mat because then it can possibly get ink on your project if you take that scrap away, and then you have ink down here. Okay, so now all we need to do is stamp our candle, and I'm inking that up in Hello Honey, and then we just need our inside sentiment, which is going to be stamped with the Memento Black. And we are using a sentiment from Amazing Birthday. So there we go. Our card is complete, and it was a very, very quick but cute little card to make. So here's the one I just did, and here is the one I started with. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great day. Have fun with placing your very first order from the new catalog from Stampin' Up. That's debuting again today, June 2nd of 2015. If you need a demonstrator, please visit my blog at www.stampingtoshare.com. I have lots of ideas there and links, of course, to my Stampin' Up store for you to place orders. Have a great day. I truly appreciate you. Bye-bye.